Fort Collins, Colorado, and Casper, Wyoming, both towns named after Ohioans. Today, in Ohio's influence in the West, we talk about the relationship of a father and a son and the towns named after them in Wyoming and Colorado. So after arriving in Fort Laramie in 1862, Colonel William Collins found hundreds of miles of telegraph to protect and keep open. His troopers quickly became linemen in addition to troopers. So once arriving, they made short work of getting to know the trails and the lay of the land, and of course protecting the telegraph line, which was their main or primary objective. Colonel Collins established an outpost just north of Denver that was originally called Camp Collins. So although Camp Collins, later to be called Fort Collins, had countless stories of skirmishes, battles, shenanigans, and of course good memories and bad memories from the troopers or the soldiers that were posted there, the most significant event in its history occurred within a month after the arrival of the 11th OVC. The event was not a battle, but actually a flood on that nearby river. The flood destroyed the camp nearly completely, with many of the soldiers barely escaping with their lives. And of course today we know that location as Fort Collins, Colorado. But in the words of Paul Harvey, let me tell you the rest of the story. When Colonel Collins came west with the 6th Ohio Volunteer Cavalry in 1862, he also brought along his then 17-year-old son, Casper, along for the adventure. Casper inherited his mom's love for books and his father's love for the outdoors, hunting and fishing, and he also left Ohio with a talent of drawing that he would use on the western frontier. He was considered a humorous kid who, according to his classmates, always had a friendly and positive attitude. However, maybe one mistake you could say is that he's talked his parents into letting him go west with his dad. His early letters home to his mom were full of excitement and awe of the western frontier. However, after being commissioned as an officer in the summer of 1863 and spending 3 long years on the frontier by 1865, Casper's letters home take on a different tone that imply a realization of the hard life on the plains. After his father, William Collins, returned back to Ohio for his term of service actually ended, Casper found himself dealing with the most violent summer of Indian hostilities during the summer of 1865. Unfortunately for him, it culminated on July 26, 1865. He was sent to lead a detachment of the 11th Kansas Cavalry from Platte Bridge Station to help escort a threatened wagon train. Within the 3/4 of a mile from the fort, he was surrounded and attacked by more than 1,000 Indians. Mounted on a spooky band member's horse, witnesses stated that he was hit in the hip while trying to save a downed or dismounted trooper. And after that deadly attack, his body was found in a drainage mutilated with dozens of arrows still in his body. That November of 1865, the government officially renamed Platte Bridge Station as Fort Casper, although it would be officially with a minor spelling error of ER instead of AR. Thus is the story of a father and a son, both officers in the same regiment, both with forts named after them, and both Ohioans that made an impact in the West. We appreciate you listening to another episode of Ohio's Influence in the West, and hope you watch us again next Wednesday. And until then, ride hard.